You're listening to the Sales Today podcast, and I'm your host, Fred Copestake. On this podcast, we explore how sales professionals can develop a more modern approach to selling, the application of virtual and hybrid selling techniques, how to create meaningful business relationships, and much more. And welcome to this episode of the Sales Today podcast, where we're actually going to have a bit of a special one today, because I'm delighted to be joined by two students from Nottingham-Trent Uni who've been working with me on an internship and have been involved in what I think is quite an exciting project. So I would like to welcome Carles and Marta.
Hello.
Marta.
Hi. Thank you for inviting us.
Es un placer, señores, es un placer. ¿Qué hacemos todo este podcast en español o en inglés? ¿Qué crees?
En español. No, in English.
Yeah, in English is better because the problem is most of the listeners will be listening in English. So, yeah. Can we start with you guys introducing yourselves?
Well, my name is Carlos Espert. I am Spanish. I'm from Valencia, from the east part of Spain. And I'm currently studying international business at NTU. This is my third year. I've been working with Fred for 4 months, something like that.
It feels like 4 years, probably.
Yeah. It's been a good time.
And Marta, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Marta, and I am also from Valencia in Spain, and I'm also studying international business at NTU.
Brilliant. So, Marta, you have the microphone, so to speak. Why international business? What made this interesting for you?
So I thought this was the perfect mix for me because I could learn about economics, business, etc., but also with an international approach. So moreover, I could also learn new languages. And I thought it was a job regarding international business would allow me to get a job with which I could travel. So that's what I really liked.
You chose this course pre-COVID, pre-Zoom, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Travel is coming back and you will be able to, and you'll have a great time doing it. I can speak from experience on that. Carlos, what about yourself? Why did you choose this degree?
Well, honestly, because I love business. And I think the best way of kind of learning about business is like having an international approach about it. In fact, well, the same as Marta, I also like to travel. I would like to visit, loads of countries, but specifically Dubai and the United States of America. And I think there's loads of business, like there's a really good environment on business around those countries. And yet that's one of the reasons why I chose international business.
Interesting. Well, Dubai is another special project I'm working on. So maybe I'll be talking to you further down the line with a different hat on. So I certainly hope.
Will be great.
But okay, so let's get into the content for this podcast, which is about sales skills being life skills. So you guys have been working with me putting together the Student Sales Academy, where we're going to provide some learning for students and young professionals around this area. So again, Carlos, if I start with you, why are sales skills life skills, would you say?
Okay, so we've been working on this for a long time. And I honestly believe that sales skills are life skills. You just have to look around you, around yourself, and see that everything has been sold at least once. For example, this microphone, the microphone I used to create the course, has been sold to me, but then the material was sold to the company that produced the microphone. So obviously selling is everywhere. And it's not only about the materialistic things. I think also the non-materialistic things such as skills or knowledge, it's also important to know how to sell it. For example, we all know that doctors must know how to sell their services as well as architects their projects or entrepreneurs their ideas. And for example, in my case, when I wanted to work for Brindes, I had to know how to sell myself. And that's why I think, and I personally believe that sales skills are life skills.
Yeah, okay. Marta, what would you add to that?
Yeah, I totally agree with him. I think that all the required skills for sales are perfectly applicable to life. So for example, sales skills involve communication and listening, knowing how to effectively communicate the customers you are approaching, what you are selling, and listening to their needs. But the same applies for life. I mean, you need to know how to effectively communicate to people to build relationships with them and to express your thoughts and opinions. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no. Communication is such a big area. You're correct. So, Marta, if you carry on, then if I change the question slightly, why are they particularly important for students or young professionals, people just starting out their careers?
I think because they are the key to being successful both in personal life and professional life. Also, how you apply these skills is the most effective way to differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd. So I believe it is better to start developing all these skills as soon as possible so that you can apply them when necessary.
Yeah, no, I mean, great piece of advice there. Start as soon as possible. I was going to add something, but yeah, Carlos, you add before I do.
Well, I absolutely agree. And I also think that developing some skills, some selling skills, such as negotiation, active listening, or nonverbal communication, can be a turning point in your professional career. So the earlier you develop these skills, the better prepared and the more prepared you will be for the future.
Negotiation is an interesting one that you picked that. I did a podcast with a guy who's also a student, Minson Vo, who is already dedicating his life to this because he thinks good negotiation is the key to solving so many problems. And he's thinking world problems. It's a good podcast. You guys should listen to that one. No, I think that's really, really good. So let me ask another one again. Carlos, you stay on the mic.
Yeah.
What has surprised you most about learning about sales as part of this project? Because I say you've been in 4 months now and got pretty deep. So what surprised you most?
Well, I think the kind of win-win mentality, the mindset, that kind of mindset, because I knew that obviously we have to be happy with the deal. No, we have to be satisfied. But it's like it has evidenced that to me that the goal of a salesperson is to guarantee that the deal benefits both, like him and the user and the consumer. And this is, in my opinion, what surprised me most about learning about selling.
It's interesting because sales can come with a bit of a stigma. Yeah.
Yeah.
People think of the kind of the sleazy salesperson who's going to manipulate you and trick you and do lots of horrible things and leave you in a bad position.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, actually, no, it's not that at all. Okay. Marta, what about you? What surprised you?
The fact that there are some things that even if we believe that are obvious and logical, we don't apply in reality. So for example, we know that the best way to solve a problem is to see it, ask ourselves why the problem appeared, list all viable solutions, evaluate them, and then decide which is the best solution. But then in reality, when a problem appears, many people panic and don't know how to handle it. So it is not only important to know the theory, but also to apply it in practice.
Yeah. And of course, salespeople can help with that because when customers have a problem and they're panicking and they cannot think clearly, a salesperson with the win-win mentality Carlos has been speaking about can arrive and can help them with that clarity.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So part of the academy, we identified a lot of different skills, a lot of things which I would be training professional salespeople to do. And we identified those and we did little segments on them. So if you could pick only one of them, tough question this, Marta, you could pick only one of the skills that you are studying and building into the academy, which one would it be and why?
So I think it would be communication. I think this is the most important skill in sales. And I believe so because you can't build any relationship with customers if you're not able to communicate effectively. So being a good communicator is essential. This includes knowing exactly what, how, and when to say things. But of course, it is also important to listen to what customers say.
So what, how, and when to say things. And like you say, listening, really key part of communication. It's a two-way street, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Carlos, again, one skill you're allowed.
Well,
Only one you can use for the rest of your life. Which one's it going to be?
no, negotiation.
Okay.
I'm sure about it. But I think what Marta said, she's right. No, communication is essential. And also active listening is part of communication. And I believe I should improve, actively saying. But if I had to choose and to pick one skill, it would be negotiation. Because as you said earlier, negotiation can solve loads of problems. And the low, like an important part of business is negotiation. So that's why I would choose this skill as one of the most important skills in selling.
See, I think you've done a bit of a sneaky thing there because negotiation involves so many parts. I think you're picking one and say, yeah, because if I pick negotiation, I automatically get communication. I get creativity. I get problem solving. I get planning and I get prep.
Before the podcast, I was thinking about this and I would have said problem solving. But negotiation is also really important. And it involves everything. So if I choose negotiation, it's like communication, active listening, everything.
Tactical pick. I love it. That's really clever. It is. It's a fascinating subject. Again, I'd encourage anyone listening, a professional salesperson, young professional, student, think about what negotiation really is and how you can get better at it. And actually, no, so I'm going to ask you that next question. So, Carlos, you stay on. You have more than one skill. I can give you them all back now. What are you going to do to develop them?
Well, I think the answer is really easy. It's practice, practice, and practice. And then thanks to NTU, to the Nottingham Trent University, we have access to LinkedIn Learning. And I think that's a really good platform, to develop more other skills, not only negotiation, but also other skills such as Excel skills, PowerPoint skills that I personally believe are also necessary in order to grow as a person and as a professional. And that's my plan for the future. Just practice, 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 try, fail, improve, and learn about every mistake that I make so I can be the best professional I can be the best professional, actually. Yeah.
Okay. I'll come back to that. But again, I'm interested. I'm always worried if I make an addition, I might be saying what Marta is going to say. So, Marta, what would you say you're going to do to develop the skills you're learning about?
Yeah, well, I don't have a lot to add, but of course, the base is to apply them in life. I mean, what he said, just practice. And also maybe some specific courses can also be helpful for specific skills, which can be offered also by university or by LinkedIn, as he said.
Yeah. And I'm pleased you said practice and apply, because I think sometimes what people do is they will learn a lot or they will take the information in, but they don't do anything with it. And of course, the benefit comes from implementation.
Yes.
Now, you've heard me say this probably every week.
Yeah, you always say information is power, but it's not useful if you don't apply it.
Yeah. So it's, for me, it's taking the stuff, it's thinking, well, that's the learning point. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be deliberate in practicing it. I'm going to try to do it in this way on this day. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to make it happen. You see lots of people do this, read. I've only written 2 books, but I've read 50 books this year. But what have you done with it? What have you done with that information? That's a lot of information. How have you applied it? So practicing and applying, doing it very deliberately, for me, does really make a difference. Have you thought about how you can reflect on the things that you're doing and how to learn? I don't know if you've considered that. One of the ways that you can do, so it's like a little bit of teaching. I can't help myself, can I? Is think about when you're applying something. So maybe let's pretend we're going to a meeting, we're going to a sales meeting, and we can think about, okay, I did the meeting and I've got to do the next things to follow up and sell the product or service. All good. But to stop and say, okay, so what did I do there that was really good? What have I done that makes me happy? What was excellent? Write those things down. Then think about, okay, so what are the things that if I could do it again, I would do differently? How might I change that? Maybe I could do this thing better. Maybe I wouldn't do this thing. Maybe I'd do more of this. Think about those things. And then take that thinking, the good stuff, the stuff you could do better, and say, okay, so what is that going to mean to me as a part of my action plan? How can I change that? How will I do something next time and implement it? using that as a very quick review model is a great way to keep on top of the learning and keep yourself progressing. And it only needs to be little things. It doesn't have to be massive changes, little increments, marginal gains will help you change. Yeah. I can't help but train. You know this. Okay. So what next? What next? And by what next, I mean after university. What are you going to do? So I can't remember which one I was alternating between. So Marta.
It's Marta's turn.
Marta's turn. Well, you're a gentleman. You would say that anyway. Marta, what next? What would you like to do after university?
So I would like to go back to Valencia and start a master's degree, an MBA in one of the most important business schools in Valencia. So I think this would give me the opportunity to keep developing my skills and also to acquire very valuable knowledge from reputable entrepreneurs and business people.
Cool. So what is the name of the business school in Valencia?
Edim.
Edim.
EDEM.
EDEM. Edim.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And have you already applied to that?
No, too early.
Next year.
Too early. That's the plan. Right. We'll send them a copy of this podcast. Send them a link to say you're giving them great publicity. Edem in Valencia. Cool. And Carlos, what about yourself?
Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about this because one of my options is to study an MBA, the same MBA as Marta, because I also love that university. But I don't really know because right now I've got a YouTube channel and it's growing really fast, like really, really fast. And well, I'm currently working also on my own startup and I plan to grow, to make it grow. And hopefully I can live from like generate enough income and cash flow in the future. So I can live like from my startup and in the future, sell it and be a business angel because that's my life goal.
Be a business angel. Okay.
That's what I would like to be.
That's not straight after university. That's after a little bit.
No, there's a process between university and I know that.
I won't ask you about the startup at this stage, but your YouTube channel, you can talk to us about.
Well, my YouTube channel is a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. I just communicate the daily news. Right now it has, I don't know, I think 6,150 or 60 subscribers. And I started this channel 4 months ago. So it's amazing. I've had over 300,000 views in this period of time. So it's amazing. I'm enjoying it. I do a video every single day. I go to bed like at 9 p.m. I write the script and record the audio. And at 7 a.m. I edit the video and upload it. So yes, I think it's a routine, but the truth is that this is not my first channel. I failed on loads of channels. In fact, I had a YouTube channel called Spanish Guy Reacts, which is, well, it was me, myself, a Spanish guy reacting to videos about United States of America. And one day I decided to do SEO, like search engine optimization, to use it that's part of marketing, no? And I learned something that is, if something's not working, you should just like go and do another thing.
Okay.
So the last YouTube channel wasn't working and I started doing this cryptocurrency channel and it's amazing, honestly.
Cool. No, and what a brilliant lesson. As in things aren't working, stop putting good money, good time, good effort after bad and go, right, let's look for the latest thing. So what is the channel called?
Hora Crypto. It's like crypto hour, literally, the translation. Hora Crypto with HORRA CRIPTO.
CRIPTO, right?
Yes, in Spanish it's I instead of Y.
But it's in Spanish. So if people didn't understand the 3 seconds at the beginning of the podcast, there's no point in them going to this.
No, but I'm planning to hire someone to translate the videos, not translate them, but to do the voiceover because I can do it, but I've got a Spanish accent. So it wouldn't be the same.
Better. Probably better.
I don't know. I will try, but if not, I know if I can hire someone to do that. Well, the voiceover because I create the content. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
I might be able to help you with that. Cool. So in that case, we've got a few minutes left. So Marta, tell me, you said it's a good business school, EDM. Tell me why it's so good. Let's give them a bit of decent publicity so that you can point towards this podcast and make your application a little easier. What makes this such a good place to go?
Yeah, I think the overall level of the place, I mean, a lot of reputable lecturers. Also, the whole course is not based in exams, which would be the typical Spanish model for university, based on project. So that's good because it's more a practical approach. Also, they make you go to Germany for 1 month to do your internship. So that's also a good opportunity. It's a nice place also.
It is.
It's in Valencia. Eh? It's on the coast. Yeah, I went to business school in
Literally
Spain.
on the coast.
But I went to business school in Spain when it was in Madrid, so I couldn't go and sit on the beach, which is probably a good thing, actually. No, that is really cool. So that's excellent. Are both of you guys? I'm pretty sure both of you guys are on LinkedIn. If
Yeah.
people hear this and they want to connect to you on LinkedIn, it would be great. And if they mention the podcast, it would be cool. Thank you for spending time coming onto this and answering the questions, which hopefully I think people will find interesting. But, thank you also for your work on the project. It really has been excellent. And so this is a brilliant opportunity for me to thank you publicly and put it out there, just how hard you've worked on that. And I'm really excited when we can properly launch this and start sharing the benefits of your work. So look, thank you on both of those levels from me.
Well, thank you for the opportunity you gave us.
Yeah.
Totally my pleasure. Thank you for listening to Sales Today podcast with me, Fred Copestake. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe for more and leave a review. If you didn't like it, also leave a review. It's all about feedback and learning.